Hey, how's everybody doing? I am Nomar, and this is Dioko Podcast. Hey, real quick, man, listen. So I started this podcast thing last week with just a quick introductory podcast into what it is I wanted to do here. First of all, wow, the response you guys gave me from doing that was amazing. And I really appreciate it. I really, really do. I'm glad that this idea of what I'm trying to do here actually resonates with you guys and have you actually something that you're interested in, something that you actually care about, something that you would actually want to see, right? So last week I kind of touched on why I got started and why it was important for me to get started with this thing right about now. So this week, I'm actually looking to dig a little deeper into it, right? With that being said, I wanted to talk about Dioko and pressing on and just what it meant to press on. Life happens and life will continue to happen. The reality of it all is life will never stop happening and we'll come up against obstacles day in, day out, right? It won't be a day or a time when we're not dealing with obstacles or dealing with things that we don't. I'm not going to say that we don't understand, that we do understand, but we may not understand why it's happening at the time. And a lot of us have a plan or an ideology of something we want to do, but we're going to do it as soon as we get to this certain spot or this certain place in life, right? Um, just as quick as I get this, I'm going to do that. And I think we all find ourselves with just that statement being said, right? That we're gonna do it as soon as something, right? I'm saying all of that to say that today's podcast is going to be about pressing on, like the real definition of pressing on. Like life happens to even me, right? So the story goes, or the story I want to tell goes, we'll start it from a place of driving back and forth to my job in Nashville on a daily basis where I drove 2 hours, 2.5 hours to and from work every day because I wanted this certain level of job to help me take care of my household, to help me with the finances that were inside my household. Things had to go different, things had to go better, right? So, with that being said, we had to find a way to make things work. And with making things work, we actually found me driving up and down the highway to what just don't seem normal to the average human. It's not something people would do. It takes a special kind of person to do it. I'm not going to say it can't be done. Clearly, it can. I'm sure there's other people that are doing it, but it takes a special kind of person to do that, right? So that's kind of where we are there. We'll talk about that and how that that came with so many tribulations along the way of me trying to find my way just in getting out of the way, getting out of the workforce and getting into running my own businesses, which had been my goal long before I ever went to Nashville. It had been my goal. I had been wanting to run my own businesses since I returned from Florida to Tennessee. So we'll say that's going on 10 years or so now, right? So where I sit today didn't happen overnight. We're actually 10 years into the making of that. So that's realistically that's where we are. We're 10 years into the making of that. We did some things, some network marketing type things. We did some entertainment party promotion type things. We did some record label type things. We did all kind of things along the way, but we weren't really full time into any of those things because we were still going to clock in at a 9 to 5 every day. And when you have a family and things like that, you have to do those things. Like truthfully no way around it. So you just have to do those things. You have to take care of those things, and they just are what they are in that moment, right? Those things just happen to be what they are. And for most of us, that's how it's going to work. You're going to have to work your job and run your business until you get to a place where your job can no longer afford you, right? Um, my situation, however, came out to be a little different. Well, not different in the sense in that sense, but different in how I got there. I got there because after driving up and down the highway for what I would consider to be about a year and a half in, I get this phone call from my father, and my father tells me he's been diagnosed with lung cancer. We're trying to figure out what we can do. I'm driving up and down the highway, trying to, make a living for my family. He needs me here to try to help him take care of him. So we got to kind of figure this thing out, right? So at one point I'm driving up there, but then I'm missing work because I got to take him to his chemo treatments. Because like after he gets a chemo treatment, right? Like he's down, for maybe the next 36 to 48 hours minimum, right? So we're kind of trying to take care of him and make sure we get him taken care of along the way, but still going to work, still trying to, at the time I was working in entertainment business, still trying to work in entertainment business and get all those things going. So we're driving 2.5 hours up the highway. We're getting dad over to his chemo treatments. We're running around the club scenes trying to make sure everything's happening. What we're not doing is we're not getting a lot of sleep, right? We're not getting a lot of sleep at all. And it's getting tough. It's getting tough because the drive itself will weigh on you, but deeper than the drive itself weighing on you, dad's not getting better, right? So pop's not getting any better. I'm still driving 2.5 hours. And then mom chimes in, and now mom's battling cancer also, right? So now we gotta go 2.5 hours up the highway. We gotta get dad to his treatments. We gotta try to get mom to her treatments. Now the benefit with mom is I'm not doing that by myself. I have two half brothers. We share the same mother. So we can kind of tag team mom, but dad is just dad for me, right? So it's a little different on one side than it is the other. But we go and we tag team mom, and we're making that happen. So now I'm driving 2.5 hours up the highway. I'm trying to help dad fight cancer. I'm trying to help mom fight cancer. I'm working in the entertainment business. I'm trying to help dad because dad has a home repair business that because he's not him normal self, it's not doing what it needs to do. I gotta kind of help him get that because that's his bread and butter. That's how he eats. So I'm working on getting those things done as well, right? So we're juggling a lot of things in there, but no matter what's being thrown at us, we're continuing to press on. No matter how difficult this gets, we're just continuing to press on. And I don't want to make this a whole religious thing or any of that, but I just felt and knew that God would make a way, right? Um I knew somehow, some way we'd be all right. My wife, supportive woman that she is, she sees me starting to have resentment for the actual 9 to 5 job, right? It's starting to put a little wear and tear on me because I'm trying to take care of both parents and help with their business, plus try to do my own, plus I'm trying to get the word, and it's not working out the way it should. And in all fairness, right? Like they didn't hire me to be, somewhere other than work. But this is what we are. This is the thing we're going through now. So we're dealing with it. And so she tells me to quit. You don't need them. Quit. I believe in your businesses. I believe in what you got going on. You can just quit that, and it'll be fine. Is what I'm being told. I don't dial into that originally, right? I do at some point believe that, but not right out of the gate. Not the way she did. So they also offer me a chance to be able to come to work, to be down here where I can take care of my family. And they put me in a post office not too far, maybe 30 minutes away from my home, just in a smaller city. And they have me going there to run that post office, right? And I'm doing that, but mom Mom's taking her medication. Mom's doing the treatments. Mom's doing everything mom needs to do. And mom seems to be winning this battle, right? Dad, however, dad's not faring out as well. Dad is dad is on his third, fourth round of chemo treatments. Dad can no longer see. Dad's lost his eyesight to cancer. Um, because the cancer's spreading. It's in his lungs, it's in his body, it's in his head, it's in his hips, it's moving around, it's doing some things at this point, right? So now we're full time caretaking, and we can't. The Cleveland thing doesn't even work anymore because now we're full time caretaking, right? But the problem with that is, you get FMLA, right? And they kind of protect you from not being able to be fired or whatever that thing is, right? But that's not really as good a savior as you think because you're still not being paid by these people. Right? This leave isn't paid leave. I'm just at home taking care of my family. I'm not getting paid. And at some point they start to hassle me about even that, right? And so I'm I'm going to the job sites for my dad. I'm doing entertainment things for myself. I'm at the doctor's appointments with mom. I'm at the doctor's appointments with dad. We're making sure everybody's got their medication. We're doing all the things, right? Life is just throwing its best 1-2 combo that it can. And we're soldiering on. We're pressing through. With that being said, um, I get this letter in the mail one day and it says, provide new documentation or return to work in Nashville. Well, no. Let me back up. First, it just says return to work in Nashville. Well, that's weird because I'm not supposed to be working in Nashville. I'm supposed to be working at this outpost here in Cleveland. But okay, I'm not working at either because currently I'm at home on FMLA trying to take care of my father who's lost his eyesight, trying to figure out how we can get nursing and all these other things going to get things taken care of. So that's where we are with that, right? So I'm not headed to work anyway. So I don't really pay the notice, the letter or whatever that much attention. And then I get another one. And that one says something to the tones of return to work or resign. Wait, what? Hey man, y'all know, like, you know, my mother and my father's fighting cancer. I turned in the FMLA paperwork and everything that says you guys are, what I'm doing here, right? So I'm not sure why you owe me like this because I'm legitimately dealing with some things, right? Like this isn't my plan, but oddly, this is God's plan. So my wife comes to me again and she hands me this letter. I say, what's this? She says, it's your resignation letter. So why are you writing up my resignation letter? She says, because these people are going to continue to harass you and attempt to stress you out, and we don't need them. I said, what do you mean? She said, baby, they haven't paid you in about 2 to 3 months, she said. And you haven't noticed it because you have enough things going on that you're not missing the money. We're not missing the money that you're not getting. You've been pushing so hard, you've been pressing so hard through all the things that are going on that you've actually replaced your paycheck. She said, and I'm believing in God to continue to do that. I'm on board now. I'm on board. I'm believing what she's believing. I'm not as faithful as she is because clearly she's showing me that this has already worked. I just didn't see that it was working. So, I mean, I don't want to say, oh, I just believed because I did not. I was taught you go to school, get good grades so you can go to college and come home and get a good job. Well, I for sure was going to had taken that path and was really, really working that move. But I didn't actually need to anymore. And what I want to tell you guys is because I had God, there's a lot more to this story. There's a lot more going on. I'm just kind of skimming the surface here. But with everything that's going on, I'm kind of soldiering through. I'm kind of continuing to push on and I'm pushing myself to a point to where I'm not in need of a day job anymore. I'm working so hard through everything that's going on. I'm replacing my paycheck. I'm literally replacing my paycheck working the the home repair business, working the entertainment business. And I'm working so hard at those two things when I'm not taking mom, taking dad, trying to be a husband, trying to be a father, being there for everyone else. When I'm not doing those things, and I'm running myself to a place to where I no longer need to go to work, right? So that's how we get to where we are today is that through through a father dying from cancer. By the way, my father didn't make it. He didn't actually beat his battle. Um, through a father fighting a losing battle with cancer and a mother who came out triumphant. I like to say we went 1-1 with cancer in the Paris household. We went 1-1. So 50% odds. I'll take it. Right. With all those things going on, I could have quit. I could have stopped. I could have gave in. I could have not done anymore. But I didn't do that. I got up every morning. I put one foot in front of the other, and I kept working. And I kept working, and I kept working. Now, there was times I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know what time it was. I didn't know if I was coming or going. We were still moving forward. We were still pressing on. And because we were still pressing on, we sit today in a place where we don't clock in. Um, we don't worry about what our boss is going to say because we are the boss. Now, I won't tell you that everything's peaches and cream and running your own businesses. I think I do more work now than I did when I did work for somebody, and that's the part that they don't tell you. They don't tell anyone that when you work for yourself will be the hardest work you ever do in your life, right? But again, press on, keep pushing. So we're getting through, and we're winning. And so she gives me this letter, like I was saying. I turn this letter in. I send it. I don't say another word. I just send it in, right? And I continue to soldier on. Well, it seems like just as quick as I sent that letter in, just as quick as I put myself in a position where I didn't have the job anymore, I started to do even better, right? It started to get even better for me. It started to get to a place where there was no way I was going to lose. Like the business just started to pick up even more and more to where it is now. Like this was a home repair business. remodeling kitchens and redoing bathrooms and doing hardwood floors and things like that to where now this is a full-blown investment company. Like we're buying and flipping houses and working on getting rental properties and things like that. Like we're in a whole nother avenue now than we were. But had I gave up, had I not pressed on, I would have never gotten there. We would have never gotten there. Had I not had a partner that would watch me go through all of that and support me in every way she could, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I mean it's not just you, it's everybody around you, right? Everybody has to press on. Life happened. It was easy to give up in those moments. It was very, very easy. It would have been very easy to say, you know what, I've had enough, check out. It would have been very easy to do that. I didn't do that. I couldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I don't actually know how to do that. So there's no way I could have gotten there. There's no way I could have gotten to a place where I would have just gave up because I'm not built to give up, right? I'm not built to just say I quit. Wow, just saying it right there just kind of bothered me a little bit. If you guys want to get to what you want in life, I'm saying all that to say this. You're going to go through some things. They're going to be uncomfortable. But at some point, like Steve Harvey said, you're going to have to jump. Now, as promised, the parachute will not open as soon as you jump. You're going to fall for a little while, right? You're going to have to learn to glide a little bit. And then that chute's going to. With that being said, what I would say is some of these things aren't realistic. Some of these expectations that we have that, we're going to get to this when everything gets better. What if it don't get better? What if you got to get to it to make it better? What if what makes life better is when you do the things you said you were going to do? What if what happens to get you where you want to be in life is when you actually take that jump, take that leap of faith and trust in God to get you where you want to go, right? What if that is what's required? But you're still waiting on the perfect conditions. You're still sitting around and you're still waiting on everything to go in your favor. Well, I got to tell you, I had no intentions on having to drive 2 hours to work every day, but it was necessary to take care of my household at the time. I had zero intentions on driving my father back and forth to chemo treatment after chemo treatment after chemo treatment, right? Um, I had no idea I would have to bathe a grown man. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying these are not things that I would have thought were conducive to the way my life was set up, right? I would have never thought I would be sitting in the hospital while they do this blood transfusion with my mother, where they basically just keep cycling her blood through this machine to cleanse it, and to the point till they've taken all her blood out of her body and put it back in. Sounds crazy, but it worked. So let's just be thankful to the Lord for that one. I would have never thought that I would be trying to work my father's home repair business through all of that. I would have never thought I would be trying to work my network marketing businesses through all of that. I would have never thought I would be trying to work an entertainment business through all of that. Like all of those things I could have put down and just waited till things got better, right? I could have put those things down and waited for things to get better. I don't know when better would have been, I don't know if better ever would have been without pressing on, without continuing to soldier through what we were soldiering through in those moments, right? So I'm not saying this to you like I'm some kind of hero. I'm saying this to you as an example of here's what you may need to do to get where you're trying to go in life. You may want to continue to soldier on. That thing that you're putting off until you get everything fixed and everything figured out may not be the thing you need to put off. It may be what fixes everything that you need to fix and get figured out. So may want to consider that. What if your blessings and your success was just on the other side of taking risk? What if right after you took a risk, you would receive a reward? Well, you wouldn't know that unless you actually took the risk so that you could receive the reward, right? There's no way to know what the end result's going to be without actually going through it and getting to the end. So I challenge you all to take that thing that you're struggling with, take that thing that you're dealing with, and that thing that you want to do, that thing that you actually want to do, and figure out how you can do it. Don't try to figure out why now's not a good time. Try to figure out why now is a good time. What could it do for you if you got it done right now? What if that thing that's bothering you, that things that you're struggling about, what if you pressed on through that? What if you soldiered on? What if you just continued to grind, even though things didn't look so good, even though the chips were down? What if you just continued to play? What if you continued to fight no matter what? Well, I can tell you how it worked for me. I can tell you that at this point in my life, I'm not too concerned about the finances. I have the freedoms to go be wherever my children, my wife need me to be, and I can kind of enjoy my life a little bit better now because I wasn't afraid to soldier through, because I wasn't afraid to soldier on, because I didn't stop when everyone else stopped, because I didn't give up at a time when everyone else was giving up, because I didn't allow myself to just say, okay, self, enough is enough. I continued to push. I continued to grind. I continued to go. And I challenge you to do the same. Hey, listen, man, if anything about this resonates with you, I ask that you look deeply into that and you do it again. I'm going to do these podcasts because I hope in some way, somehow, some fashion, they help you just like they're helping me. With that being said, I am Nomar. This has been the Dioko Podcast. And we'll see you guys next time. Love you.